Plaintiff Yumika Pargo says she's been neighbors with the defendant for 30 years, and she doesn't believe the defendant is doing enough to control her teenage son. Yumika claims the defendant's son was recently arrested for shooting a gun in their neighborhood, and she's suing today because she claims the defendant's son robbed her home. Defendant Betty Atlas and her son Nevin admit that Nevin pled guilty to burglarizing Yumika's home. However, Betty admits that Nevin has been acting out ever since she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she desperately wants him to change.
Prove your case.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I've been knowing the defendant and her family for over 30 years, and the reason I'm here in your courtroom today is because her son, Nevin, is on the road to becoming a menace.
Since when?
I've known of him 2 years ago, so ever since then, I've heard of all the things that he's got. Burglarizing my house for one. He's just recently got incarcerated for shooting a gun in the community. And so I think his mother, Betty Jean, is not doing enough for him.
What do you think she should do?
She needs to be getting him some help, some mentorship.
How do you know she isn't?
Because I see him in the community during the day. If I take off a day of work, he's roaming up the street. He's hanging out across the street where we reside. He's not doing anything productive. He just recently turned 18, and so I don't believe he has a job.
You assume she's not doing anything to help?
Yes.
You want to speak, ma'am? Give me some background on this.
Good afternoon, Judge Mathis.
Good afternoon.
I agree with Mika that Nevin has been getting into a lot of trouble.
Since what age?
It started in 2005 when I ended up sick and he was in transition of going to high school, and I ended up with breast cancer and a series of surgeries and aggressive medicine.
So it started when you were afflicted with breast cancer?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So from that moment on, it gotten progressively worse. But I do agree with her, that my son does need help because...
What have you tried to do in those last few years?
Well, he was supposed to go to counseling, but most teenagers don't like going to counseling.
Who arranged that?
The courts did.
And he didn't go?
He went there, but he didn't really participate because counseling is for crazy people.
That's not true.
I know, but the teenage thinking.
Okay. Young man, what do you want to say?
See, I was walking. Well, the case is I was walking through her yard.
No, we're not talking about that yet. We're talking about your criminal behavior.
Oh, I don't get into trouble like that. I'm respectful.
You ever been locked up?
Yeah, I've been locked up before. Like, I was locked up for burglarizing her.
Were you convicted?
No, I pled out because that was like my first time.
So you pled guilty?
Yeah, I pled guilty.
That's guilty. That's being convicted.
No, but I'm saying though.
No, I'm saying you pled guilty, so you were convicted. So you are a criminal.
All right, but look.
Right. No, you look. You are a criminal, and you're causing your mother pain. She's already been through cancer, and you're out here trying to be a tough guy. What happened, ma'am, to cause you to suing?
The incident that brings us here in November of '07, Nevin kicked in my back door, and he burglarized me. And my daughter can explain what actually she witnessed.
Come on up, young lady. State your name.
Arshaya Pargo.
What do you want to tell me?
On November 7th, me and my little sister were coming from my grandmother's house, and Nevin ran past me, and he had a mask on, and he took it off, and I seen him, and I seen what he had on, and he ran past and went to his house. And when we went into our yard, our back door was laying in our yard next to our house, and like there was cords coming out of our doorway because they had pulled the computer and stuff out the walls and everything, and our whole house was just like messed up.
First of all, ma'am, he's been convicted of this crime?
Yes.
All right, so you're suing for your property in civil court pursuant to that criminal conviction. Why are you suing the mother?
Because at the time, Nevin was 17, so he was a minor under her care. I feel that...
What do you think she could have done?
Put him out, made it uncomfortable for him to be on the street. I still had to reside in the community with him, and we lived just a block away from each other. And so me and my children, security is stripped.
Did you tell the judge this?
I didn't get to go to court because they didn't need it because he pled guilty.
Ma'am, you've said he's rejected counseling. I know at age 17, perhaps even if he's become incorrigible anytime earlier than that, say 14, it's really hard to handle them. I bear witness to that. There's nothing my mother could have done. She cried, she prayed, she called the police, she did everything she could do. Wasn't listening, wasn't ready to change. Nothing she could do. Do you get the impression your son is ready to change?
I'm hoping he's ready to change.
Has he told you that? Have you all discussed him changing?
Yes, we've had conversations, but talk, Your Honor.
After his sentence in 2007, has he shown a different lifestyle or pattern, or told you he was committed to changing? Did he tell you that 2 years ago?
Yes, he told me he was committed to changing.
And 2 years ago he told you that, right?
Right.
What has he been doing since to show that commitment?
In and out of different schools.
Why?
Really, well, he would go, but he wouldn't do the work. He's always been in the gifted and talented classes. Like, I keep trying to tell him, Nevin, there's more out here. You don't have to reside like this.
Sir, you want to comment?
I want to talk about what happened, man, because I ain't...
Go ahead.
All right, look. I'm walking through the yard.
Let me explain to you. Don't say, now look. That's disrespectful toward the court.
I walked through the yard or whatever to get to some close friends or whatever. They stay across the street from Miss Pargo or whatever. And I was coming back through the yards. I seen her and her little sister in the backyard or whatever. And I went back to my house, and 15 minutes later, police came to my door or whatever, saying that I, ran in her house and stuff. So I ain't had nothing to do with it.
Why do you think she did that?
I don't know.
That's not true.
Why'd you plead guilty?
I cut through the yard all the time, though. That's my little cut.
Why'd you plead guilty to?
Because that's my first time in juvenile. Like, I ain't never been in juvenile.
Right, so that's even more of a reason to defend yourself.
No, the public defender was just like plead out. It was around the holiday, she was just, like the public defender was like...
Like your mother said, you were a gifted student, so you're smart enough to know just because a public defender tells you to plead guilty to something you're not guilty of, you're smart enough to know not to do that.
I don't know, that was my first time, so that short little time in there just felt
What
like
about the things your mother's saying? She says you haven't changed your ways.
It hasn't been that recently. Like, I've been, job hunting and all of that. But
How recent have you been job?
Just like I got an interview tomorrow.
Do you have a high school diploma?
No, sir. It's gonna take me another year to get.
Have you considered a GED?
Nah, it's too low for me. A GED.
What do you mean by that?
Like, it's not to me, it wouldn't be an accomplishment because I know I'm smarter than that.
All right. Well, I have a GED.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
do you think I've accomplished much?
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, like.
And I believe I'm just as smart as you.
Yeah.
Ma'am?
Yes?
Doesn't sound like he's changed. Doesn't sound like he's ready to change. He needs some tough love. Yeah. I know you probably want me to help him. He can't be helped until he's ready to be helped. You cannot help anybody until they're ready to be helped. You cannot change someone's life until they're ready to change. It's up to them. I know it from personal experience. I know it from observation among hundreds of people acting like they're changing. I'm going back to school. I'm going to do so-and-so. I got an interview next week. I'm this, I'm that. Talk smart to you, but what I can advise you is what I have seen work, and that is giving tough love. And you may not be as strong as some mothers are, as my mother was. She called the police on me. She had the police come get me. She locked me out. Wouldn't buy me any clothes. Wouldn't cook for me anymore. Let everybody know I was a thug. And it wasn't until I decided to change, till I went to jail, my final time in adult jail, not juvenile. That's a whole different thing. Because you headed for adult jail. You're 18, next crime you get, you're going to adult jail. It's a whole different bag, partner, I promise you.
Your Honor, and that's what I was telling them, that you're 18 now, and every time something happens, they're stacking paper against you, And then eventually when that one great big thing comes, you're gone.
And that's when they're gonna call you. Mama, I'm gonna change this time for real. I promise. They're jumping on me, they're filling on me, they're doing all kind of things to me here in this prison. So I promise I'm gonna change when I get out. That's what you're going to hear. You got to wait till that happens. Then they change, and they go in the right direction, and they get a skill, or they even get a degree, and then they live a better life. But until he decides he wants to do it, nothing you can do. Change the lock and lock that door and let him in when he comes in a timely manner.
Okay. I can do
And
that.
I would set curfews because he's a criminal. And you keep the key. Don't give him a key. And if he breaks in, it's time to call the police.
Okay.
And have him locked up. Because quite frankly, when people are involved in criminal activity, particularly kicking folks' doors in, they're going to get killed at some point. In the meantime, I'm going to grant you a judgment against him. In order to prove negligent supervision, you have to prove that she did not supervise him properly in a way that would have prohibited his behavior. This woman was afflicted with cancer when he began his destructive behavior, so she couldn't have done much. I'm going to grant you a judgment against him. $1,670 is your judgment. You're going to follow some of my advice?
Oh, yeah.
All right, good luck to you.
Garbage, man. I'm respectful, man. I'm respectful.
I wish Judge could have done more, in line of helping me with Nevin, but I think what he came up with was fair and just.
I hope Nevin changes so he doesn't, and Betty Jean, she's a good person, doesn't allow him to continue to go on the road, because he's either going to end up dead or in jail, like the judge said.